the webinar.
Oh!
Cybersecurity.
Sorry
No,
about that.
you guys did really good. You scared the crap out of me.
Mission accomplished.
You did mission it. Accomplished it.
Okay.
Hang on here, what do I got going on? I can't see. Okay.
Okay, so we have a presentation of ICIT, which is Iowa County's Information Technology. We have Derek Olson from Sioux County, and Joel Rooney from Worth, who's an IT and GIS director.
Yes, sir.
So, we have discussed possibly getting an IT person here. And we're looking for advice.
Is this the reason?
So I want to thank you guys for having us here. Nice to see friendly faces once again. So ICIT has had this program called Paying IT Forward since 2011. And we've been to about 36, 37 counties in that time frame. And what, ICIT has always been a technology resource, for counties, anytime you folks need something. We'll do, educational things and if somebody's having technology issues or something like that, we're more than happy to help out. But this other program we're doing is this assessment program, where we'll come in, spend a couple of days here at the county, go through your technology, talk to your department heads, see what their needs are, what their pain points are, and then, we will give you a report that lists, here's the good, here's the bad, here's the ugly of what we found as far as technology in the county goes, and then give you some recommended projects or things that you maybe should do to help remediate some of those things. And one of those things is possibly hiring an internal technology person. With the advent of ransomware and cybersecurity really becoming a huge thing right now, technology is getting to be really a kind of a pain point for counties. And having that internal resource sometimes really starts helping you tie some things together or, help you remediate some of those cybersecurity things. The big thing we saw is the auditor's office. The election rules that the Secretary of State rolled down to us from on high. Auditor's office, they've kind of struggled with those things a little bit, and having that internal resource, really kind of takes some of that pressure off the auditor's office to get those things done. Because, the auditor's got enough on her plate, trying to do whatever auditors do, I don't understand what they do, but you've got that internal person that's tying together the technology stuff. And then, technology is something that crosses all the departments. We don't care what department you're in, you're gonna utilize technology. Law enforcement, they're huge consumers of technology. And that's not, going down, that's only escalating as far as, 40% of my time is spent just with my law enforcement, my sheriff's office, doing those things. Derek has, you've got PD and
Yeah, so in Cassuth County, there's two of us, and we handle the courthouse, all secondary road shops, we handle the sheriff's department, our 911 piece of the application, and then I'll go in the police department as well. So we do all the servers, switching, routing, radio systems, do pretty much everything for technology for our county.
So do you have a 2080 agreement with the city then?
Yes, we do, yes, correct, yeah. And with the 911 Joint Service Board as well, because we handle their technology as well, so. But yeah, it's getting to the point where not having someone in-house is an extreme risk, and I think you'll start seeing your insurance coverage as well being dropped or blocked based on that as well. So ransomware is just getting to be too big to not have somebody looking at all this stuff. But state has a ton of programs that you guys can take advantage of. A lot of times we're finding that department heads that are not involved in technology don't even know about the programs, and so another just risk point is what it amounts to. So, like Joel said, we do a 2-day audit. Our goal is to help find the pain points. We've been in counties where the servers are 7, 8 years old, they're sitting in a closet. If one more hard drive fails, they're totally down and can't do business, and that's coming out of sheriff's departments, out of PSAPs. So, I mean, there's definitely, in counties that don't have a technology person, a belief to just set it, forget it, and so, those are the places where we're gonna see ransomware at the most, so. We can help come up with a list of projects, whether it's switching, routing, firewalls, antivirus, hiring somebody. We've sat in on a ton of interviews, and help at least validate the credentials of a person, not necessarily the personality fit, you know, that's not our deal so much, but, hiring and firing, we can help, you know, well, hiring, I should say. Well, yeah, and, you know, the one thing that an IT person can do is kind of bring all departments together, because technology is getting used across all your departments, and so if you've got one department head doing this on their network, one person doing this on their network, well, in theory, you have 2 sets of firewalls and 2 switches and 2 internet connections, and there really shouldn't be a reason for that. So we see a lot of, you know, trying to help department heads give a little bit of that away, and we know that that's difficult, because everybody's been kind of doing their own thing most of the time, and so, trying to find somebody that all department heads can get along with and trust, and, if you decide to hire somebody, is part of the challenge, part of the project, so.
If you have a 2-day visit here, what's the time frame on putting this all back in our lap? I mean, would it be a month? Would you be...
So here's how it typically goes, Bruce. We'll come in and do the 2-day assessment, right? And we'll get to know you folks, and we'll get to know what technology you've got. And then what happens is, it's not like we throw the report at you and walk away. No, that's not what we're about. I mean, we've got counties that we visited back in 2011 that still talk to us, that still call us, hey, what about this, hey, what about that? We were just at a county here last month actually, where we went there a second time. So we did an assessment in 2018, and we recommended that they go with an outside IT vendor at that time, because we didn't think that they were ready for an inside IT person. And they've been going down that road with that outside vendor, but then they decided that they were ready to have that discussion about an inside IT person. So we went down there, we did another assessment, and now we're in the process of helping them hire an inside IT person. So this is not a relationship that goes away by any stretch of the imagination.
What's the timeframe they'll get the report after you're done?
About 2 to 3 weeks. The nice thing about you folks here is we've got a lot of resources around this area. You know, Derek, myself, we've got Gabe out of Franklin, we've got Andy out of Wright County, we've got, who's the
Don could sit in.
Don can sit in, everybody wants Don, yeah. I'd rather have Don than you. There's a new person that we just helped Winnebago hire, we'll probably bring them in. Because the nice thing about these assessments is it's not only hopefully beneficial to you folks, but it's also beneficial to our organization. So we can take that new person and spend some time with them and show them how we do things. And that's part of the mentoring part of what we do. You know, so if you do have somebody that you do hire in here, they're not...
So there's a lot of help out there for them.
Absolutely.
Training.
Yeah.
That was my question, like, government has a lot of special, different things than what, you know, public, and so I was just wondering, like, kind of training for them. Can you get an IT person that's never worked with a county, how do they know what to do?
You know, county government's a different animal,
Yeah.
no doubt about it. And, you know, we're seeing, like, the new kid in Winnebago County, you know, he comes from a bank. And, you know, it's very, bank president, bank vice president, blah, 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 you know, it's very vertical. And county government is very horizontal, you know, sheriff, treasurer, auditor, you know. So it's a different beast that it takes a little bit of transition, especially when you've got all the state projects too. So we've got what we call our Slack channel, that they would be a part of if they join our organization, where they can ask any questions. There's all these knowledge bases out there. And then what we usually typically recommend is, you know, they spend some time in our counties, we'll come in here and spend some time with them here as well. And then we usually take them on an assessment, or 2 or 3 assessments, especially if they're new out of the chute. That way they can sit down with us and oh, hey, that's how Derek takes care of that, or that's, you know, what Joel does with that kind of stuff. So you know, they're not left to their own devices
Okay.
by any stretch.
That's good.
The one nice thing that we have here in Iowa is a very strong relationship among our county technology folks. It's something that we're kind of proud of, and it's something that we really want to do. And it's something that a lot of states have been wanting to do. You know, I've been talking to Minnesota right now about them actually starting up like an ICIT up in Minnesota.
Sounds like a great organization.
How many counties right now are affiliated with ICIT?
I think about 70, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wow.
Good percentage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we've seen, you know, a huge growth just because, I think, because of the cyber part of this thing. You know, typically it was, you know, a lot of counties had that outside vendor that took care of all their needs. And that, you know, those outside vendors aren't gonna go away. You know, we're not talking about, you know, going away from that at all, because we still use our outside vendors. There's a place and a spot for those outside IT vendors. But, you know, you're almost needing now that inside technology professional to manage those projects, to handle that vision of, okay, you know, we've got a server that's gonna be end of life here in 2 years, you know, let's start budgeting for that, let's start, maybe we can virtualize that with some of the other offices, and make those technology dollars spend a lot better than maybe typically what you're doing now.
Do you also help with the equipment purchases for the various offices, seems that we have to update that every 3 years?
We'll give advice on that, I'm not gonna buy it for you, but, you know, maybe, I mean, you know.
But as an IT person, that is
That's,
their
we
part of the
would
decision.
help that person. We've got a lot of counties that go down the same path, so we all do the same antivirus, we all do the same firewalls, and so that way we can get the experience of everyone. So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely a trend where 20 counties will all do the same thing for firewalls, or 20 counties will all do the same thing for antivirus. So there's definitely some strength in being approved, but we would work with your IT person to help.
But, yeah, if we did have an IT person, he would help the department heads.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
All the
work with
time.
purchasing, so, yeah.
The big thing you want to realize when you're looking for that IT person is you want somebody that's gonna be a good fit for the county. I mean, you know, you can,
Communications is huge.
Oh,
and project management, yeah.
Mhm.
You know, I don't care how great they are technology-wise, but if they don't have those communication skills, why even hire?
Right.
So that, you know, time and time again, we've seen, you know, where, you know, because of county government the way it is, you're looking for that person that can really interact very well with all the departments across, and start bringing some of those departments together for those technology spends, and making that plan as you're going forward. Okay, you know, the sheriff's office needs a server, the assessor's office needs a server, the auditor needs, you know, so maybe let's virtualize all that into one stack.
One piece of equipment,
Yeah.
so 3.
But make sure that stack is redundant, so if one piece of that stack,
Right.
you know, goes away, the other pieces are gonna keep going. And that's the kind of person that you want in here, is to be able to bring, you know, all the county offices together and say, okay, county, here's what we're gonna do technology-wise, and here's why we're gonna do it. And, you know, because of cyber, disaster recovery, you know, business continuity, business resilience is the big thing right now that a lot of us are focusing on. And hopefully you folks are a good ways down that road, but I mean, there's always room for improvement when it comes to that.
So like, what I do for the department heads is provide a list of all the equipment that needs to get replaced. So every year before budget time, just say, hey, you need to replace these, put your dollars into this category, and then that way, it takes that load off your shoulders, you don't even have to worry about it, it's just, here's what you're gonna get, and then when it comes time to order it, we order it, sub it all up, bring it to your office, and then it's on with you all, so. It's just making that easy, and then trying to make sure all offices are on the same stuff.
And somebody that's managing, you know, you can spend millions of dollars on technology, but if nobody's managing that, you spend millions of dollars on nothing.
Yeah.
So you need somebody that can take care of those day-to-day things, watching the antivirus, interacting, you know, right now, CISA is the federal folks with internet security. They've become a big chunk of our lives right now just because of election cybersecurity. So, you know, there's things you need to do as a county with CISA that I don't know if you're doing those things right now, because of those administrators. Which,
And that's, you know, if you don't have somebody that's dedicated to finding that stuff out and being part of groups that have that information, you're just not going to do it. And then, there's nothing wrong with that, it's just you guys are not as mature as some of the other counties are when it comes to technology, so.
Who's your lasso officer right now, Sheriff's Office?
Or who? Yeah.
Lasso? I don't know, it's really on a horse. And that, I'm not picking on you, I am picking on you guys.
My neck is kicking up looking down the hall.
But I mean, just like the sheriff's office, CJIS right now requires that you guys specify a lasso officer, which is the technology officer for your business there. You have to have somebody that designated as that person, and they have to fulfill certain things for that CJIS report. So, I mean, that's one of the many things, or one of the many hats that we wear as technology.
I was just gonna say, so could that be an IT person? It doesn't have to be one of us.
Nope, don't want you to.
You're going like that.
You know, and a lot of us wear different hats, you know, in Worth County, you know, I've been doing digital forensics now for about 14 years. I'm drone pilot, one of the drone pilots there, I'm the radio administrator, for the county, so not only am I taking care of just the IT stuff, you know, we're taking care of a lot of those other communication or technology things that, you know, that touch the county offices.
From when I talked to Derek, I guess, one of the things that I asked about too is that if we were to have like a tornado or a natural disaster come through the county and to see, because, you know, similar to emergency management, that if something big were to happen, they can pull in emergency managements from other counties that will come in and help, and I guess that was one of the things they said, you know, that if we were to get hit by, you know, the LAC gets wiped out and you know, we just get overwhelmed with a huge disaster here, that they said other counties would be willing to come in to help, you know, get us up to going as quick as possible. I mean,
We do have that, yeah, that is part of our deal. Actually, I don't know if you guys remember about 4 or 5 years ago, we had a pipeline burst up in Worth County, one of our many disasters we've had over the years. And, you know, I was sitting in a little trailer, you know, at the site, and we were looking at protesters. So I actually leveraged a bunch of these guys. I said, hey, you know, Derek, look at social media. Tony from Pop County was looking at some law enforcement stuff for me. So, you know, I was able, you know, from the back of a command trailer to actually, you know, engage about 6 or 7 technology guys to take a lot of that load off my shoulders. So, you know, we certainly can respond to any sort of natural disaster or even a cybersecurity event if there's something like that happens here in the county. Always, like I said, ongoing resource. Yeah.
As far as radio wise, as far as if we do get hit by a tornado or something, we have a little flash drive down there, we can go to Wright County and they have the same radio system like what we have and stuff, and just operate from over there, so.
So aside from the computers and servers and, that kind of stuff, what other, typically could a person of this, what other thing could be under their hat, you know, like telephones?
Maybe the website?
Yep.
Well, I have somebody outsource the website because that's not a skill I have. I'm not an artist. I'm a ones and zeros guy. So I'm still responsible for it, but I have a vendor that does that service for us, so.
I have a vendor that does mine as well, but I have my own department updated, and, yeah, they do that kind of stuff. Education, I think that's the big thing we're seeing right now is employee education. I know the auditor's office has to take cyber education, the treasurer's office.
The offer.
Yeah, has to. So that's one thing that I know Derek and I both do is educate our end users, because we're sorry to say it, but, you know, we can spend bajillions of dollars on technology, and all it takes is one of our...
How to run it.
It just takes one
One click.
Yeah, one click.
One click and you're
Well, and that's
SOL.
one of the things we do too, is we test our users every month with an automated email phishing test. And so we get, you know, one person, 2 people a month that always click on it, so it's
We educate them.
Well, when we first started, you know, 7 or 8 years ago, it was 30%. 35%. You know, that
Oh, wow.
first 3 months, it was substantial. And nowadays, even one click could cost you $5 million. So.
Mhm.
When I first started our phishing attack, Kenny, I don't know if you guys remember Kenny, my,
Mhm, yes.
Kenny Abrams, he he would click on it and click on it and click on it. I would have phishing emails that he would click 5, 6, 10 times on. So,
I'm surprised.
No, but, you know, it was a wonderful time for us to get together and educate, you know, a little bit. Yeah, Kenny was fantastic.
I was.
I guess, and I think I asked Derek this, but, so typically, how do most counties set up the oversight of this position today? Because obviously, if they're gonna be dealing with the auditor and the sheriff and all the different departments, do they typically answer to the board of supervisors, or do they develop a board that directly oversees them, or what?
I answer the board of supervisors, and typically that's what happens. I mean, you know, it's not really that much different than the engineer. You know, you've got your engineer to take care of your physical infrastructure, your roads, your bridges. You're hiring an IT professional to take care of your digital infrastructure, your data, your switches, your digital presence that many of your constituents now are engaging in. And that'll continue because, you know, we know that as those constituents are younger in generation, whatever.
Yep.
It's more that way.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
But we work hand in hand with department heads, right?
Right.
Like, we know that your mock and tracks is provided by the state, but you're still responsible for it, so if your guys are doing something wrong, we can't change that or fix that, but we'll work with you to try and, you know, solve that, so. It's very close with all the department heads, to make sure we're communicating with them, working with them directly, so. But, again, we both report to you guys, or the board, at the end of the day, so.
And then, because again, I'm reiterating a lot of stuff you and I talked on the phone, but, so, I guess, when I was talking to Eric about it, so you guys would assist when you come in and do like the audit thing, and then knowing that if the supervisors decide this is something they want to go through with, that you would help, like, maybe come up with a potential budget leading if the, anticipated start date for this person is gonna be July 1st or whatever, to kind of come up, because obviously we're getting into budget time here to say, this is, salary and this and that, and then, that kind of stuff, so that they kind of know how we're gonna figure that out into a budget process.
Yeah, we're seeing enough budgets, we've got a pretty good idea of where that needs to land at, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw another thing out there. Cost savings, that if you have an internal person, what kind of cost do you eliminate that you used to pay out to other people?
Not much.
That's what I was wondering.
No. So, there's some boards that have that thought, we're gonna hire somebody that are gonna save us money because, and you will have some cost savings, in the fact that, you're probably not doing government purchasing of equipment right now, government pricing. So you'll have some of that. And
We do a little of that.
Solutions
Isn't gonna change.
But I mean, that's where we buy our equipment from.
But they don't know government pricing.
So I don't
Yeah,
know.
you would get a discount on that, I mean, you'd have to save 20%, I suppose,
I would
think so, something like that.
And like I said, solutions is not gonna go away, that's not what we're talking about. But, you will have the soft costs, I think, involved, one ransomware event is gonna cost you, 19, well, if you're talking about how many people in the county?
Just shy of 10,000.
10,000, I think the last time I looked, it was $191 per person to remediate a cybersecurity event for just the records part of that. So $191 times 10,000 people if you lose the entire database to ransomware. I mean, that's just a budgetary number I'm floating out there. So, I mean, by hopefully bringing this internal person in, hardening your technology structure, making sure that technology dollars are spent more wisely, that person is going to hopefully elevate, your technology.
Yeah, I think you'd said, even cameras, that's something that could fall under the umbrella.
Yeah,
So,
we do cameras.
because I know we're constantly calling up, we'll have issues in the jail with our cameras, an inmate will break it, or the camera just malfunctions, and that's something that
We do
eventually...
squad cars, or my department does squad car cameras and jail cameras and all that.
Your spend on your outside IT vendors still go down.
That's what I was,
Yeah.
you're gonna save a little there, but it's not gonna be a lot.
It's not gonna go to zero, because you still need that outside IT vendor for this project.
In today's day and age, is that IT person someone that's in town, or is that someone that lives in Minneapolis, or,
You know, the best IT person that you're gonna hire is somebody that's engaged with the community. Because let's face it, we're not in this for the money. These folks are not in county government because they wanna get rich. You know, this is part of public service. This is being a part of the community, and the thing that we found where, you know, the best relationship is that, you know, that person that either moves into the community or is a part of the community, depending upon their skill set. That's, you know, you're gonna want somebody here engaged with these folks on a daily basis.
A lot of it you need to be on site for too, you know, when it talks about squad car computers and squad car cameras and jail cameras, a lot of stuff you gotta be in the building.
It's hands-on stuff.
Yeah, it's hands-on stuff, swapping computers home. Now granted, we can both do a lot from home, I mean, we really can, but there's some stuff you just have to be here to do.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I live in town, I don't know how many nights that I've got a squad car parked in my driveway. That's the deal. I mean, that is, you know, I'm a Department of One, and I'm on the books 24/7, 365. You know, I don't get.
The other part of it too is you have to have someone that's willing to do that, holidays, nights, weekends, because it is one person, just like you guys.
Well, you had me when you said you guys were part of the interviewing process, because me and asking some kid that has IT knowledge, it's gonna be a quick interview. You sound good.
You do computers?
You do computers? You know how to turn mine on and off? 'Cause I usually have my grandkid help me.
Well, you know, I think hopefully what we can bring to the table, folks, is, you know, we don't have a dog in this race. You know, we're county people trying to help other county people. So, you know, we can bring things to the table that we've learned. You know, we walked at least a mile and a half in your folks' shoes. So, you know, we can hopefully bring those experiences, we can bring policies. You know, if you folks don't have some IT policies that you're maybe missing, we can bring those in, it would be wonderful.
The state resources too, the state provides a lot of stuff that I'm huge positive you guys are not taking advantage of, so.
Good.
What are there other organizations out there that you're aware of that do something similar to what?
Oh, there's, you know, all of your outside IT vendors are gonna do an assessment, but, you know, they're gonna do an assessment based on the services they provide. You know, it's, and I...
Salesmen.
Well, I mean, that's one of those.
Yeah, that's, I mean, they're salesmen, so they're gonna,
Yeah.
yeah.
System will do one for free.
Well,
This is a federal.
yeah, that's a different,
Different,
I mean, that's not what we provide, right? Like, that's a technical audit. What we're looking at is, we're looking at budget, we're looking at what departments are doing, we're looking at, does it make sense to hire somebody full-time? We're doing a different type of...
Right, I was just answering the question.
Oh, the
If there were
technical,
other...
there's tons of technical audit companies, groups, all that stuff, but ICIT is kind of the only Iowa County specific.
And you said you're affiliated with ISAC, right?
Yeah, we're a member of ISAC, and Joel's actually, I think, on the ICIT member for ISAC as well. He's been on that board for, since I was maybe 5, I don't know.
So typically in the past, when you've helped other counties to potentially, do they go forward, and they set up like a board, like an interview board, or has it just been like you guys working directly with the supervisors, or did you get the department heads to sit in?
Department heads.
To sit in
And usually one chair, one board member to just make sure that...
I'm thinking Corey's wanting in on that.
Oh,
yeah! The way I heard it.
He's standing up.
Want a resource from the sheriff's department, because you guys have a lot of technology use, so, you need somebody that's gonna fit in with your group, I mean, that's definitely part of it.
And somebody that can pass your background checks. I mean, both Derek and I are NCIC certified, you know, we got to take those
Just,
certifications just like...
FYI.
do the service.
What does it cost for you guys to do all this?
I was wondering what you were gonna say. So, typically what we do, we don't wanna, you know, have any of this expense on our counties. So we charge $3,000, and that covers the expenses of the group that comes in. So that covers mileage, hotel, food, and, you know, that will cover us for the initial assessment, and then coming back to deliver the final report, and then, you know, that should cover us for any interview time or anything if it was going to.
we don't get paid for doing this, that just covers meals and expenses, so, it's not like we're getting any compensation. We do this because we believe in county government, so, that's the other part of this, our deal, so.
Does that answer your question?
And at the time after the assessment, that's when you'll kind of come up with your recommendation, because like us at the law enforcement center, if you say that, like similar to Sioux County, that your recommendation is that they cover the Humboldt PD as well as the sheriff's office, or if you think, no, we should separate out and be different from them. I mean, that's when you, after you come in and do your audit. Yeah.
And then, you know, things change too, because, I mean, we're only here for maybe 24 hours.
Right.
So, you know, if something changes and it's like, hey, Derek, this is something new, or this is something, what do you think about this, what do you think about that? You know, pick up the phone or email us. You know, we're, like I said, we're not saying goodbye, this is a resource that you folks, I mean, you got Andy Flagg over in Wright County. Andy's kind of a running a lot of stuff. Andy's a wonderful person.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic IT resource as well. We do have some membership around here that you can certainly draw on.
And we do, spring fall training for 2 days for all the IT folks. We do,
Timberfest, yeah, we've got quite a few,
training
educational
events. We can go.
And, you know, also we do some educational things too, and we wanna get those new kids involved with that, so they're comfortable presenting in front of people, and they're, because once you don't really know a topic unless you've taught it. So that's one thing we kinda stress too, getting IT people out of their shell and talking in front of people is tough sometimes. Some of us are more awkward than others.
Well, Dean nodded twice, so I'm assuming if we were in an auction, he just bid twice, $2,000. Yep, he's in.
You said something, I just thought of a second ago, you said something about the forensics part.
Yeah.
So, like, you'll help us, like, if we're downloading a cell phone on it, or not?
So, here's what, I mean...
I'm sorry, maybe I'm getting, that interested me when you mentioned something, because that's something we're doing more and more, we're dumping cell phones and computers, and normally we have to send that out to other counties or to the state, and so I'm thinking, God, if we potentially had somebody could do that in-house, man, that would be huge.
When you're hiring, that's something that you can have as part of your criteria, if that person, so realistically, the digital forensics, they have to have a passion for it, especially with the child exploitation side. Because if you don't get the right person into that, and they start doing this kind of stuff, you're not gonna keep that person around.
Yeah.
So you do need somebody that has that desire and that passion, and that's something you can include in the interview process. I know I do it, Jasper County, Ryan does forensics, Tony Cava from Potts County, that's all he kind of pretty much does. So more and more, we're seeing,
demand for that.
yeah, demand, and then if you get the right person, certainly, if they want to take that on.
Yeah, 'cause, when we started talking about an IT person, I thought, geez, do we have enough to keep them busy? It sounds like we do.
Now I'm thinking we need two.
I didn't imagine all these different areas that they'd be involved in.
It's all behind the scenes, a lot of it. So, you don't really see, an IT person building a bridge or putting a road down or anything like that. But that's basically what they're doing, is it's all this infrastructure stuff.
Speaking of infrastructure, we also take care of the computers at our secondary road shop that talk to all of our trucks and all of our Caterpillar equipment as well. So we've got 2 laptops out there that we do the software for that cap.
County conservation, I'm guessing something similar, I mean...
Yeah, they did wireless out at our nature center, and,
Nobody likes conservation.
Yeah, we got Lake County Park,
we're not involved in the Mont County Parks thing, no.
you have online reservations?
No. We have my kind of first take care of all that stuff.
Yes.
Okay,
We do.
okay.
Yeah, we don't have anything separate.
So, we do, we keep track of, all the computers and stuff for conservation that they have. I do quite a bit of drone flights for conservation for some of their projects. It's the naturalist and stuff, but she's got projects that she wants to do that has a technology component to it.
Just depends what you want them to do. I mean, there's a ton of work that needs to be done.
Yeah, you can use them for that, too.
Police department.
So is this an action item for us, or where are we,
How is it listed here?
I mean, I'm all in, I think
Just a
it's,
presentation, we'll probably have to put it on next week to have an action item.
if they're willing to do it.
So what typically happens, folks, is if you guys decide as a county that you want us to come in and do the assessment, we'll schedule a team, we'll put a team together, which shouldn't be too tough, because like I said, we've got quite a few
Local resources.
really good local resources. And then we'll put a statement of work together, which will explain what we're gonna do when we're here and what we're expecting of you folks, so that you can see what the expectations are. You'll sign it, I'll take it to our board, maybe you'll take it to our board. And then we'll sign it, off on it, and then we'll schedule a date. Right now, we've got, a project in another county south of here, and then another county west of here, but I think just because of all the local resources, we can maybe get something put together fairly quickly.
Yeah, and if you really are serious about getting in this budget year, we'll make sure to get a budget number, so you guys have something by December. Or
That'd be good to know.
Yeah, we'd appreciate that.
That's what you're really thinking.
Mm-hmm.
We can provide job descriptions and advertisements.
Okay, perfect.
So maybe, you know, realistically, we can...
Yeah, well, we can get anybody. We've had counties that have had one applicant.
Well, I'm sure it's hard.
Yeah. And the pay is another thing. If you guys are not willing to pay an IT person, we're gonna get a 2-week candidate. We had another county, not you.
Oh, okay.
We had a couple months ago that they offered somebody the job, and he took it for 2 weeks, and then they got another 10,000 going somewhere else, so.
Yeah, that's the big thing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, cost
We're
is
talking-
everything, wages is everything right now.
Similar to what the sheriff is probably at, I'm guessing, more than most of your electeds are. Just so the expectation is realistic.
Yeah.
That we see, you know, when you've got companies that are charging $125 an hour, $200 an hour for on-site work, it's hard to get somebody for super cheap, so.
Right.
Just
And
something.
you'll put that together for us too, what you think.
Yeah, we'll have a salary
Wages-
range, yeah.
And it depends upon the candidates you get.
Right,
Yeah.
that's the other part of it too, is.
I know the county to the north of you, they just hired somebody and, you know, they offered that person 60, and it took 80 to get that person in, you know, in the seat, but they really
Yeah.
wanted that individual.
Mhm.
Well, I would
All these
appreciate,
computers and make sure everything's running right, it's well worth it.
And that we would be a priority.
Exactly.
You know, that when, right now, it seems like, you know, we make the phone call, and it may be a day or two wait before they get, you know, they get their other clients done that they can get to us, and it'd be nice that when we make the phone call, we know somebody's gonna be there in 5 minutes, you know.
Within
It's
reason.
well quick.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, within reason, that's a high expectation, 5 minutes.
We track you down. It is. No, I'm serious. I think I've got a GPS tracker on, for my sheriff put one on my car.
I don't want you to get lost.
No, and I've actually got a radio, so you can reach out to me.
Extra radios.
We got
Now
GPS
you're-
trackers too.
Now you're getting some ideas.
Well, we appreciate it very
Yes,
much.
very much so.
Thank you.
Well, like I said, if you folks wanna, you know, we'll go back and put a statement of work together, because it sounds like we're gonna move forward, and once we hear from you folks, we'll get the team together, and we'll put some dates, and see if we can't get something in place.
That's great.
The ladies talked about having some type of, lunch or meal here towards December, so if you coordinate it around there, we might be able to save a meal with.
Shimmy pinching.
County potluck, you just...
There you go. You got a little Lutheran in you, right?
Yeah.
You wanna be the contact for this project?
Well, you better, he's gonna sign off on that.
Or who do you, I mean, we
I
need
mean,
to
yeah,
have
who do
somebody
you-
that I can work with, so.
Who do you want to,
You want the chairman of the board, or?
I would say probably Rick.
Probably not.
No?
No, Rick would sign off on that, so that'd be...
Well, right, but we're gonna have somebody we're gonna have to work with.
and that won't be me. 'Cause, like I said, I got some troubles with my cell phone right now.
You want me to work with them?
I would be a much better person.
You want me to work with them? I'd be glad to,
Okay.
if you guys are okay.
I'm good with it.
I'm good with it.
Volunteers.
Yeah.
Right
Well,
now,
and we'll keep everybody apprised, I think, you know,
Yeah.
you know, if we could have like a group email or something.
Mhm.
But, you know, we really do stress that as many people be involved in the process. I know, you know, Teresa and I were just talking out, and she said the engineer was good, you know, he didn't want to be involved in the
Very
site.
good.
And I respect that, that's fine, but, you know, they're part of the county, you're spending technology dollars with that individual, and it, you know, the more people that are part of this, the better. So,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right.
We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Always nice to see old friends again.
Yeah.
How's the little doggy getting along?
He woke me up at 6 this morning because he still hasn't adjusted.
Adjusted his
Yep, he's doing all right.
My granddaughter is the same way, I guess she was at 5:30.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing how that works.
Yeah.
It ran down.
I see the,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
See you.
Put that on the agenda.
Yeah, ASAP.
Yep.
Okay, we're done with that.
It's okay, I mean, they'll have.
We did everything to
Just got the
change.
drainage left, I think is all, and then we gotta come back in this
At
afternoon.
2 o'clock this afternoon. Okay.
I know the rules.
No, but
I don't
yeah.
even know how.
I know we've always had to wait till after 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Well,
I remember that.
See if somebody comes in.
I'll make a motion to go to drainage then.
Second. Oops, sorry.
Okay.
You got it.
First and second, all in favor, going to drainage?
Aye.
Any opposed, we're moving to drainage.
There's my veterans,
Hey Sandy,
you wanna
can you write your email
spread that?
down?
There's names on it, I don't.
I know it's Epswini, Humboldt County, I got,
Pepperoni, my
No, I'm sorry.
God! Oh, you're...
there's one O, not two, I know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's mine.
That's all right. I got them read.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks, Eric.
Sorry, Cory, I couldn't reach it.
No, I just, you should've got up with a place water and it would be quick.
Big asset, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah, it would, for us, I mean, just having, when we switched over to the software stuff, we had so many things, like we had a jail camera that was supposed to get set up with the new software, and now you have to run the wire and get it set up, and, I mean, we had so many questions with, VPNs and stuff like that, we can't get our softwares working because they're claiming we got VPN issues, and
Yeah.
all stuff none of us are, so it'd just be nice if we have a one-stop shop, we call that person, and then we report the problem to them, and they take it from there, because right now, we're way too far in the weeds, and a lot of that stuff doesn't make sense to me. I don't know
Yeah,
if VPN
I
does, why
understand
this
that.
VPN
Right.
doesn't work, and it'd just be nice for somebody to tell them, this is the problem, okay, that's their project, and they take it from there.
Mhm. Yep.
I don't know, that's my 2 cents worth.
You're good, we feel the same.
Yeah, none of us are wizards on it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. I always say I know enough to be
Well,
dangerous.
good. Hey,
Oh, my gosh,
I was a little nervous at the beginning.
Finally put it all together.
Well, second half they played well, but I still wasn't very impressed in first half very long.
Did you go down and watch it?
No. When they put that at 6:30, that means it's 11:30, 12 before you're getting towards home, and I'm too old for the,
Yeah, so that's a late game.
especially when I shut it off and just go to
That game
bed.
just seemed like it really took a long time.
What, the first half was forever,
Yeah, man,
but hey,
turned out good.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice to see you.
Good to be here. I was telling the gals, I almost needed a road map to find out.
Well, as long as you didn't bring snow, I don't see any of that falling, we're good.
That's what I heard, it's supposed to,
Towards the end of the week,
yeah. Catherine's supposed to get it up there, when I was up there, I think it's Thursday, they're supposed to get it Thursday, Minnesota. Wednesday or Thursday.
there's a shot.
Okay, all right, well, we are in drainage and we have DD 11. And I guess we've had a petition filed.
Russ Larson stopped in the office, and he stated that Wacusta Section 24, he was asking for a review of the west leg of the open ditch. The maps that I gave you. Okay. The section that is
Yellow.
highlighted in orange has already been cleaned out. The short leg that is highlighted in yellow is the one that Russ is asking to have evaluated for heavy silt buildup. And Rick had provided this amazing map that shows that halfway down that north leg, there's a large group of trees. That could be why that section does have a lot of silt in it.
Could be.
In this section here, right here, you can see where there's a large group of trees. And Russ farms this quarter section here, and he's asking to have from Florida Avenue over to where it crosses, I think that's 130th Street, just that section reviewed. But
My thoughts are, if you're gonna look at that section, you should go all the way, do the whole thing, 'cause that's not that much further.
right,
'Cause if you clean up out up above and you don't clean down below, you kinda waste your time.
Absolutely, well
Right.
said. My initial thoughts were, I wanted to get input from you, after talking about it with Kim, is maybe droning this, get an idea what it looks like along the entire route, an hour's time.
I don't have a problem droning it, but that timber might be a little tougher, getting some shots in, up above. Yeah, you might be able to see more.
Yep,
I don't even know, is there water in it?
don't know,
I bet there is right now.
I would think so.
We had a fair amount, a lot of the ditches are carrying some water now.
This is the outlet ditch for sub-2 of 11, and the way it's set up now, sub-2 I don't believe is paying for the maintenance of this ditch.
yeah, I brought in a different map. You can see where all of sub-2 has all this tile that's outlets into the open ditch, but that's also the district boundary. And Rick had an idea of annexing this leg into...
Oh, sub-2.
Mhm.
That makes sense if that's,
So the proper people are paying,
right, if that's all draining down in there.
yeah.
Mhm.
It is the outlet
Yeah.
ditch for sub-2 tile.
We're talking about this right here.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that was some engineering, so I wanted to talk to you about it.
So was this just a small, right here? 'Cause it looks like there's yellow. This right here is now, is that what you're saying? 'Cause there's the yellow dot, so is that the district right now?
Yes, this shaded area is DD 11, this is sub-2.
But 11 goes up into here?
That's what I mean, going
Right.
up that part
Yeah,
right there.
all of this,
Oh,
all
all
the
of-
purple, yeah, is DD 11.
In the district.
Yeah, you can open that map, if I just folded it down for,
But I guess all the paperwork was filled out by Russ, the petition for the paperwork,
yes,
to the clean out, to...
yeah.
So is this group gonna wanna get into annexed?
I'm sure not.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking, I mean,
Yeah.
but even though all their water goes to that one, correct?
I haven't seen that, but I'll take a look at it when we get it done. And what we're looking at,
So this is all of DD 11, all of this. Okay,
yeah, but...
So this way-
Jumps into this.
right, all of their water will outlet into this, and so Rick said if we do anything with this section, it would be wise to annex just this portion into there. They would still be part of DD 11.
Right.
So that dumps into Buddy Run then.
Trying to get them control of that ditch, to be able to do petitions and whatever.
That all drops into Bloody Run, right?
Yeah, that is Bloody Run.
Where's Bloody Run?
On the top side.
Oh, that, okay.
Maybe similar to theirs.
So we decide
That would
what
be
to do
Kevin's area.
about the annexing first
North
and then
of their-
decide to
their
do this, or
house.
you decide to do this and then go to the annexing? I don't know how that
I
works.
think you need to annex it first, because then those people have the right to remonstrance once they're in.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, how that,
Yes.
Correct.
But in this case, there would be any remonstrance because it's not repair.
Yeah.
But they would have that right for all improvements, yes. Yes.
so they would be charged though for the repair,
Yes.
correct? This sub 211?
Mhm.
I can't believe you're talking that much money, we'll see if the trees are still there or whatever, but,
The trees will probably be the biggest cost,
yeah.
if there are issues.
And what we'll probably do is, looks like a pretty big area, we'll just clean out maybe 20 or 30 feet next to the ditch and leave the rest of them, saying it's outside your right of way?
Right, just clean up what's in the right of way.
Yes. That'll keep costs down.
Well, that'll keep them from blocking the ditch, unless
Right.
one big one would fall over or something.
Yeah,
I see like just south of their sub 5 of 11 includes their leg of the ditch, so I can see why.
yeah. It just, it's more of a natural thing to do. It is their ditch that they use.
Yeah.
It's in their best interest to have it cleared.
Well, I guess we accept the petition first, right?
Right.
Yep.
I make a motion to accept the petition for the clean out from, as stated from, that Russ Larson has presented.
Second?
The only thing I'm gonna comment on before we accept this, I wonder if we shouldn't adjust the report to go to the outlet at 11.
Most drainage attorneys will tell you if petition submitted, it's up to the engineer to decide the limits of the investigation.
Okay.
So,
That gives you the ability to go look at that.
yes.
Okay, so then you're fine with your motion.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion to accept Russ Larson's petition on this leg of DD 11. What's the number of that leg?
There is no,
No label on it.
We'll call it the outlet ditch for sub 2 of 11, is what we'll officially name it.
All right.
outlet ditch for sub
Sub 211.
11, okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries on that. Okay, now we have a discussion, possible action on proceeding with clean out. Imagine we have to wait for your report on this.
I would say so, yeah. This probably will be small enough that we may not have to have a public hearing, but let us get into it and see.
All right.
It might be one of those where we come back and say, do an hour at a time. We'll probably do a little probing and drawing and get a better
And
idea.
there's count on trees, some of it's gotta be cleaned up.
Yeah.
And on them trees, I guess I'd just do some measuring, see what 20 foot, 20, 30, or between 20 and 30 foot would do. As far as if we took those off the ditch, you got a bunch of trees behind there that are big enough that if they fell, they could still hit. I don't know what distance you would go.
Well, we can't go much further than the right of way.
Right.
So if it does fall, we just have to go in and clean it up.
But, I guess my question is whoever owns them, you would think that they're kinda gonna pay double, aren't they? The second time, if something fell in it, we aren't gonna say, well, that's our responsibility, 'cause we've already cleaned the 20 or 30 foot.
Yeah.
So, we aren't gonna come back and do your logging for you every time a tree falls.
True.
And we don't want it pushed into our right of way,
Oh,
like
I
somebody's
see
gonna
what you're saying.
do.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's my question is, if you do 20 foot or you do 30 foot, then where are we at? I don't know. I don't know how that
Boy,
works.
it's hard to address that.
I'm trying to think of how, when, if you're in town and your tree falls on the neighbor's property,
Mhm.
You're responsible.
You're responsible.
to clean it up.
Falls in their car, the same way.
Yeah, you're responsible for the liability of it.
Well, technically, no, you're not. It's
Oh,
considered
you're
an
not?
act of God,
Really?
unless a tree has been declared a danger by somebody.
Nuisance
I
or...
didn't know that. I
Oh, yeah, I
thought...
found that out.
You can clean up, if the tree sits here and the fence line's here, everything on your side of the fence, you can clean up.
You can shave it straight up.
You can shave that tree right straight up right on the property line.
What about the leaves that they keep dropping in my yard? I'm getting tired of cleaning them up.
And then a leaf blower and blows them back over the...
Oh,
But I think if we get 20 feet distance back, we'll be good.
Yeah, I would say so. We'll look at it.
Well, let's just see what it is, 'cause
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then our...
20 foot out of there would make a big difference.
Big help.
Mhm.
And then our ditch guy, Don Reefer, if he comes in and keeps spraying the bushes, that keep
Yeah,
going back
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Well, so we would hope that you're gonna have this looked at in a couple of weeks,
Hope so.
okay?
We'll at least get the drone and check some silt depths. If we have to do a full topo, I'm not sure we'll get it this fall. Whoever's gonna start that.
Well, I just gave you the 10-day look, and it looks to me like, Rick, you got a couple of days where it's gonna be chilly if somebody's gonna be in the canoe or in the boat. Other than that, it doesn't, I'm not
No, it's,
seeing what I saw the other day.
They clearing up after that little spat of bad weather.
It's just a 36, 34, and then we're back in the 50s the following.
Yeah.
See, Alex, we get to the dome and now the weather starts warming up. So I don't think it's really too bad.
that's what people like the 50s.
Yeah,
It's good for working in.
Mhm.
When you're walking up and down in ditches, it
Oh, yeah.
creates a
Swell
sweat.
right up.
good.
Okay. Well,
You got anything else in drainage?
I wanna talk to you about DD 103.
oh, up there by the road.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't, I just got names and numbers for petitioners, people that farm in the area at least. And I wanna meet with them, or at least call them on the phone and talk through it. Where they see the problems. Having the railroad involved can add immense cost to a project, so we're trying to come up with a way to not get the railroad involved, which might mean keeping the main north of the tracks, going around the lagoons, and either going to the northeast to the ditch or straight east yet. Some of that's in town, that's awfully tough to work in, must be 12 or 15 years ago now, the elevator put in a new pit or scale, and 103 tile went right under it, so they got us involved to be sure it was done properly, and it's the right size pipe, the strength pipe, everything, so we have like 3 projects we've worked on in 103.
Is it also, is there limits to how close you can get to that lagoon? Or we really don't wanna get too close to that for fear...
You can get real close, but what we do is seal the pipe joints,
I see.
just to be sure we didn't get anything
Okay.
leaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the city won't want us too close, DNR won't want us too close, but...
I don't wanna be too close.
Here we go. 50 to 100 feet is what we find, so. But, until I talk to those landowners, I probably can't tell you a lot.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard anything about 103 at all? You've done some repairs?
Yeah, we've looked at it multiple times, and
Yeah.
we're pretty familiar with it.
Yeah,
And my first thought when I looked at this, if you can eliminate going underneath that tracks, anytime you can, that helps.
oh, helped tremendously. We just finished a project in Winnebago County, and the railroad just got totally unreasonable.
We don't wanna, I agree with Rick. We've had dealings with that, and we don't wanna go back down that road, if possible.
Right, and looking at the district layout of the tile, what is south and west of the tracks would probably leave in place and use the pipes going under the railroad as the ones exist now. But if we can come from town, go north of the lagoons into the ditch, we'll be taking a lot of pressure off the pipes south of the tracks, which may be enough to really make a big difference.
Help tremendously.
Yep.
Good.
Kim was showing me her summary of what she had for her information on what's been repaired.
Yeah, a bunch of it has
A
been
bunch of the
replaced.
south of the tracks has been replaced. So even the drawing from Yansky, I think it was,
Yeah.
showing some of it.
Several hundred.
Yes.
Have been replaced with dual wall plastic.
Yep, yep. So that, we'll take that into account as part of the report.
Okay.
Anytime you get anything on these, let me know. Any extra information you can pick up is very helpful.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna tell you too, we're out on 18, and conditions are right to try and finish more of that at this point, getting existing ground elevations. So, my guys would be upset if I tell you this, but if you wanna see the boat operation, they'll be out there today.
Oh.
The drainage clerk from Winnebago County really wanted to see it badly, so we called her when they were there one day. Works pretty good, it's really economical and efficient. It looks an old flat bottom boat that they, if there isn't much water, they, through a spot, they'll just drag it through.
Right.
Through the mud, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a boat my neighbor, our old neighbor, gave me. He didn't want
Well,
it
it works,
anymore.
well, it works
You put
then.
a four-wheeler on each side, or
Yeah.
side by side or something. and
Yep,
hold them all.
yep, depends on how the ground is. The four-wheelers work the best, they tell me, side by side, not as good, but...
So then that gets you probe, what, every 25 feet, or how often do you
No, I
probe?
doubt they'll do it that often.
100 feet, 100 yards?
Yeah, more like 100 yards is real good.
Then you average the,
Yeah, we'll draw a profile and you'll be able to see, where things are happening.
I see.
I think that'll be valuable information.
I do too. And we wanted to wait till conditions were right to use it, because it'd be almost impossible on foot.
Yeah, it would.
Every step would be a battle, if you were walking to the bottom of that ditch.
Hmm.
I wouldn't wanna do it.
No, I've done it a little bit. A project years ago by Laverne, I was gonna be checking elevations and silt in the ditch. And it was, I could see there was a drop off, and I just about went in, but I checked it, and it was like almost 6 feet.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was out there alone, and I was so glad I didn't do that. Yeah. It's a washout area that
Right.
got me.
Okay, do we have anything else for drainage?
Motion to go out of drainage.
Have a first and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Gary, we're out of drainage, back in general session.
Thank you for
You
joining
bet.
us here, everybody.
Yeah.
More shows up yet, so, we'll see.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thanks, Rick, for
Are
coming
we
down.
going, are we going to just adjourn or
I think we
recess
have-
till 2? How do you want it worded?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I think, then maybe we'll just do that, do a recess till
Recess
2.
till 2.
Okay, recess till 2
I'll
o'clock.
motion to recess or second his motion.
Okay. Motion to recess till 2 o'clock, where we'll do our campus thing.
All right.
All right.
Favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.